of all idiots, don't you know? Banging our heads to the rhythm of the code. We don't care about dollars or the shiny blade. We're just holding to zero. It's our everything. Round tripping positions, that's how we roll. We won't make $1, won't sell a thing. We're the zero holders, so that's what we sing. Zero holders, all that's what we sing. Sing. Zero holders, we're the kings of the sea. And run for your money, it's the living the dream. We're all on the zero, it's our way to be. In the world of NFTs, we're wild and free.
Man, I'm kind of bummed that song ain't it's not starting fresh and crispy, you know? But what can you do? I legit think it's the thing you can't do anything about. I don't think there's anything. I think the internet's just kind of a little fucked up. Whatever. Hi guys. Hello. Good to see you. Good to see you, Joe. Good to see you, Henry.
Oh, did we start? I didn't know, since I didn't know if the theme song played or not.
Yeah, no, you heard it. I know you heard it. In fact, it probably sounds better for you than the guys. I wonder if
no. It sounded like shit.
Okay, hang on, test.
Yeah.
It's quiet, but does it sound good?
The quality sounds better, yeah.
Okay, test. How about now?
Much better.
Makes no fucking sense.
It drops off after a little bit, so you just played the side. It always comes in loud, and then it kind of starts to dry down.
Gotcha. God damn it. It is the internet. It is. It's definitely, we got shitty internet for being as close as we are to Chicago. Shit. Whatever. Let's.
I'm in Chicago. My internet's fine.
Yours is fine.
I think so.
It's farmland. It's farmland. Shitty internet. Confusion. Good to see you, bro. Edge GMs. Good to see you. Radical. You, sir. Here for decentralized. Yo. We're all here for I've seen some cool ass decentralized stuff popping up as far as people being cool, supportive, doing shit. We'll get to it. Who else is here? It's a lot of you here. Appreciate it.
Really?
I'm just glad you showed it. We'll get to decentralized. I don't know if Henry will be here for it.
Surprised we get that much visibility.
Where?
Here.
I told you. I explained it. I don't know if it hurt feelings a little, but nobody.
When you said that there's a lot of people here, I said, "Oh, I'm surprised."
It's the gang. The gang is here.
Oh, the gang's here.
The gang's here. We don't get visibility outside the gang, and I'm happy. I'm happy for what we got.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't want to become like wildly successful and popular in the space.
You sounded like you wanted to yesterday a little bit.
Whatever. It doesn't matter about me. Today's about Henry, I think, isn't it?
Is Henry? Are you putting Henry on the hot seat today?
Not yet. I don't want to rush it. No.
Yeah, no, he's in.
Yeah, he's in.
All right. I
got my mouse hovering over the leave studio button. So
what's this? Oh, leave this studio. Okay, yeah.
Dude, amazing. Okay, hang on. Hang on. Okay, hang on. I'm sorry. Hang on.
What's going on? Can you explain what
Yeah, no, I can't. I'd love to.
I can't wait for the market. I can't wait for it. I can't wait to hear about the market.
Oh, I don't even want to talk the market. Hang on. Let's talk. Well, we could do a little bit of market. Okay.
It looks great.
We're kind of. I'm not saying we're back because that's stupid. I hate that stuff, even though I think we're back. What I do think is we're back. I think we're back. I'll just say I think we are back. There you go. Crypto looking decent. Tonight's going to be interesting, by the way. I really am hoping they talk crypto tonight at the debate.
Just slow down. You can't. You're just dying to get into politics this fast. Just slow down. You're like, I don't want to talk about market. Let's just go right into the debate tonight. I'm really excited about the debate. Yeah, well, the only debating you're going to be doing tonight is mass turbating. Okay, you got it? You happy with that? Huh? You happy? You
I dig it. I dig it. I'm glad you said
put
it.
my face out there because you thought I would suffer. But guess what? Who suffers? You.
No, you came in strong, man.
And you're
Strong.
yes.
Okay. Okay. What I'm really trying to do here is just get on the spaces. Heads up, guys. A reminder or whatever. If you want to come and shoot the shit, if you want to give Joe shit, I guess even Henry or me, come in the spaces on X. You're welcome to come chat. That's what I was doing, by the way.
Right. Who's got their Discord fucking notifications on? Sounds on?
I didn't even hear anything.
It's probably me.
It was you.
Okay, whatever. It's such a noob thing, and
It's okay. It's all right. All right. That's all set now. Okay, good shit. Where do we want to start?
I would say we want to start by saying hello and welcome, and then Henry, we should retweet the link.
It's a good start.
Yeah.
Beep boop.
Bleep blop bloop.
Yeah, and then we'll go from there. I'm the non-fungible idiot, don't you know? Yeah.
All right. I finally got situated. Dude, it's so much harder having a whole other thing that's streaming. It's like a whole extra thing to do. I got to really start prepping it. So I'm sorry, dudes. I'm sorry, dudes.
Here, I'm gonna sound like Joe during the pregame.
Yeah.
Accurate.
I'm gonna
Okay, let's get into it. Let's actually get into it. A wee bit. Caitlin Clark wins Player of the Week. Eastern Conference Player of the Week for the second week in a row. This girl. She's amazing.
I mean, I'm not going to be okay with us talking about Caitlin Clark on a regular basis if we're not going to then talk about like the Bears and the Bills or Josh Allen.
Henry, I remember last week I was talking and I was like, this show is slowly just becoming whatever Hudah wants to talk about all the time. He's like, well, you go to, I think what he's, I was going to say, I think he's like trying to get us to like do some work on the show to like be like, oh, it's just, you know what I mean? But I don't think that at all. I mean, that's part of it, but I do think he's just slowly becoming crazy and like thinking people care about Caitlin Clark, Orbs, Poly Market, like it's just all Hudah.
Oh, come on, don't you can't lump Poly Market into that.
The thing is, Joe, like to me, the Orbs play in a little bit to like the culture of crypto where people like tend to go down, you know, like conspiracy theories and whatnot. So I kind of get that part. And maybe because I like it, I'm like, oh, okay.
Because you like it is the real answer.
Yeah, but also I feel like it speaks to a lot of the audience. Whereas like to me, by the way, I think Caitlin Clark is awesome. Like I think what she's done for the WNBA is great. It's just it's a weird.
Did you say the dumb BA or whatever? Like
the WNBA.
You were trying to say WNBA, but you said the dumb initially, which is like such a Freudian slip.
Okay, well, I didn't mean to say that. I meant I think what she's done, maybe because what you heard was I was saying I like what she's done for the WNBA, but like it's a weird place to start on our show.
Yeah. It's I Henry, me and you agree 100%. 100%.
All right, feedback noted. I'm gonna move her to the end. So we'll come back to Caitlin Clark.
Or never.
Good feedback. No, I'm with you. Okay, Caitlin Clark doesn't belong every day, every week.
Loaded right now. I'm going to hear this next topic and see what we got.
Well, I want to talk. I don't even know. I'm not sure because there's a couple cool ass things. I want to save Poly Market because I think Poly Market's going to be a spicy one tonight.
Also, afterwards, I want you to play back the show because I did not say the dumb.
No, you
NBA.
No, you tripped over you did. It sounded like that's where you were going. The dumb, and it sounded like that at first.
Are you sure it wasn't me saying done what she's done in the WNBA?
When you started saying W, it came out like it sounded like you were going to go dumb.
It's not your fault.
Maybe. Okay, all good. All good.
Your fault, dude. We all make dumb mistakes, right? I mean, you've just made a few this in the past couple days. So I mean,
shut the fuck up, Joe.
It feels.
By the way, one cool place we could have started was like the Tyreek Hill arrest.
I know.
That's an interesting sports.
It very much is. The other thing I wanted to know is whether or not Hudah, because yesterday was a very big controversy day, which you missed. Whatever. But Hudah, did you have your Nouns show yesterday?
Yeah.
Because I couldn't find I went to your web profile. I couldn't find it.
Yeah, it was there.
It sounds what's going on today? It sounds a little bit like
No, it was no, it definitely was there. Twitter's not been showing stuff like English's space. Twitter is broken. Remember how it knocked our stream offline and stuff?
Yeah.
It was doing stuff like that. When I would look at English's account, didn't see his spaces, couldn't see on his PFP that he was in a spaces, even though he was.
I got booted from that spaces multiple times.
Yeah. Yeah, it was rough.
I was starting to feel a little suspicious, but that makes sense.
It happened. I was like, okay, I didn't do my job. I didn't even retweet that show. I didn't even engage with the tweet. I was so happy to go in that spaces, and there was like 3, 4, 5 people there, and I was so relieved. After doing like 3 shows in the day, you finally get to one and there's no pressure because there's nobody there. I'm like, oh, this feels comfy.
When you outnumber the audience, it's like a good feeling.
It's like that's time to maybe pull the plug.
Right.
Probably about the time. Unless you're starting, when you get started, you have to do that. I get it.
You need some more visibility on that show.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Nobody's putting an effort on that one, but
and the reason I brought it up was, Henry, I'm not sure if you were plugged in at all yesterday. I know that you were going through your own personal Vietnam yesterday, but there was a bunch of controversy in which English was involved, I guess. Hudah, is it okay to like ask if you talked about these issues on the Noun Show? Because you said that you were too.
No, well, so reason being English wasn't there because his show was still going. So his show went pretty long yesterday. It was almost 3 hours.
Okay.
So without him there was no need. In fact, I said on the show, because I write a market report for it, and I touch on that stuff, and I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm enjoying how it's so much smaller, and like after, like, it just like, I can't imagine the pressure on somebody like Henry, and I know English too. Like the past few days, especially, there's just been a lot of drama in the space. I'm like, if I'm feeling like it's just annoying talking about it still, I can't imagine these guys. I'm like, I'm gonna skip those parts of the market report. Like, not even talk. Everybody's heard about it.
He didn't show up to the show.
He came probably 15, 20 minutes to go at the most.
And you didn't talk about that.
We didn't need to. At that point, no. I'm sure next week we will.
Well, I mean, I don't like the brushing off. Like, oh, we didn't need to. Like,
I mean to be fair,
space rewind it. Nothing happened.
It was like I listened. I feel like maybe a couple hours of like English's spaces with like Good Things and Leonidas and Pauly, and like I know Good Things. I like him. I met Pauly. I liked it. I like those guys. I just was listening to all of it. And I think I was messaging with Hudah like kind of during it and maybe a little bit afterwards. And I was just like, this is also fucking stupid. Like it was actually hard in the moment to actually think that these are grown, like these are, and I thought about us. Okay. I'm like, these are grown-ups. These are like adults, consenting adults having these conversations. And then I thought, well, what the fuck is the difference between what they're doing and what we're doing? Maybe one of the differences is it got really petty to me. Like it got like so far into the weeds about shit that nobody cares about. The interaction with the audience was just like, there was people that just seemed like all they wanted to do is raise their hand, come on stage just so people could hear them talk, even though they added very little to the conversation. Like one guy was trying to make an analogy about your grocery store and people protesting that were employees. I'm like, and he kept kind of smacking his lips and it was driving me nuts. And he was kind of making the sound and it was, and I'm like, fucking stop that. And I'm like, you know what? The other difference is it went on for 3 hours. Like,
well, I mean, hold on. I mean, like, yes, it's petty. Yes, it's childish. But I think at the root of it all is there is a nugget of someone thinks someone's lying. And can we get to the bottom of that lie? I think that's what where everything goes. And it's kind of like a fight when you don't know how to get into arguments, because I've been into couples therapy before, and it's like you start to argue and then you start bringing in everything else into the argument, and it just becomes about winning or losing, and it doesn't really become about solving the issue at hand. So,
but like to harp on a point that was being made kind of towards the end of it, which was, well, Leonidas, can you at least admit that you're doing this for your own gain? Like,
oh, interesting.
And I'm just, what's that?
I said, that's interesting.
Like, to me, it wasn't. I was just like, well, I mean, for the most part, everything when I say that Leonidas does, insert most people who are, heading up projects are trying to do is, when I say for their own gain, for the gain of their community, even if it's not for them personally. So to me, it was just like, well, yeah, if he's inserting himself into a conversation that he's really not a part of to begin with, well, he's doing it for views, for likes, for, he was even saying like, I'm paraphrasing, that he's doing it to his own demise, because in the end, with the legal issues he'll probably bring on himself, that it's probably not a net gain. But to me, I'm just,
what legal stuff? Well, who's going to bring legal stuff?
I'm assuming, that Leonidas assumes that maybe Raktoshi would bring, I'm making this up because he didn't say it, but I kept thinking like he's thinking he'll get like a defamation suit or something like that. I guess to sum it up, it just all felt really petty in a space that's like, I don't know. It's just the virtue signaling and everything like that. It just seemed like all of it just seems so petty to me.
Dude, I think you nailed it with a point of for views. Like, man, they got like 800 people in there. Those guys make money from doing that. They do. The more eyes you get, the more sponsorships you get. They know it. They're not stupid. Right?
They got what was I saying?
Visibility.
Visibility. Yeah.
Visibility.
Hold on. I'm confused here. First of all, we didn't talk about this beforehand at all, which is interesting. Are we comfortable discussing this, Henry, Hudah? I know, like, do I have to be on any guidelines here?
What?
This whole thing, because I know that you said, Hudah, yesterday that you have information that about. You have more information that you've taught that you haven't.
Yeah. Everything yesterday still applies. Like, there's just some things I'm just going to stay very neutral, and I like talking about current events, but I'm not. I don't want to get involved in it.
You don't want to be in the firing line.
Yeah, no, it's
in the line of fire.
I guess my point is, like, from the controversy. So if I just tell me to shut the fuck up if I'm crossing any lines here, guys. Like Leonidas saying these things about those guys. Sure, defamation lawsuits, whatever.
I said that, not him, but yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying that, like, he was basically saying like people are getting paid and things like that. Is that like? Are you team Leonidas? Or are you team the rest of the people on the opposite side of this? Are you just like, I'm absolving myself? Because
are you asking me?
Well, I'm asking Henry. Oh, I already sort of know. I thought. Well, sure. I'm asking both.
I'll just say I'm team Leonidas as far as my spidey sense goes off hard when Raktoshi speaks. When he's talking about how that guy's like manipulative and lying and all that stuff. I heard him talking the way he was saying, like, you're just questioning my motives. I'm like, oh, I can tell this guy's a piece of shit. I'm sorry, but I could kind of tell. And people saying I chatted with Confusion a little bit. I think Cosmos mentioned in here about Aaron. I think it's Casey Rodamore's girlfriend, or I think that's who it is, coming in and saying it was awful. It was.
I heard her.
This guy's a sociopath. Like, I'm like, that's what he sounded like to me. I believe her.
But like the other side of it is. And I think Gerard kind of sums it up as this Cosmos. Like, who fucking cares? As if this space is so wholesome, and that's what we hold up. Like, we hold up the wholesome people, and like, fuck. You remember what Ben.eth was doing forever, and everybody was just pouring money into what he was doing. So to me, I'm like, this is where people like. I'm not calling names out, but like, they all know what they do. Like, they all know what they do.
The interesting thing from where I was sitting in this, which was like outside of it, was, Henry, didn't you had some information potentially that kind of could be useful to what they were talking about, which was, wasn't Leonidas saying that they were getting paid from Kongs, and they were saying that they weren't?
They didn't talk Kongs at all.
No, you're talking two different spaces, Joe. You're talking the morning spaces versus like the evening spaces. So two different, I think two different conversations. Because they didn't talk Kongs. I think English brought up Kongs once. Just saying, like, I think English brought up Kongs once. But a lot of the heat in that conversation, I came in listening to that spaces when they were, I think, talking about people being compensated by projects, because I think maybe Leonidas was accusing Good Things of having made money off of Node Monks, and he's like, no, like I was like contributing, hosting Twitter Spaces, etc. But the other side of it was, if he was, who cares? Like, even if he was compensated.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Who cares unless someone's saying that I'm not getting compensated by it, right?
Absolutely.
If someone's saying, hey, you're getting compensated, and he's saying, no, I'm not. And then he says, from what I was hearing from it, and we'll move on from this because honestly, I don't have anything to contribute other than like nothing other than like just kind of navigating through this. But like, I was under the impression that like, they were saying like you shouldn't be making accusations about it if you didn't know about it. And so I thought it would be easy for people to know about it because obviously projects either compensated or did not compensate. And so it'd be interesting to know if that was the case or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think the majority of that conversation, and correct me if I'm wrong, Hudah, because you maybe even listened to more of it than I did, was about what Leonidas was maybe talking about being involved in anything that Raktoshi was involved in, which if he's involved in Node Monks, like, hey, watch out. And I think people didn't like that because in reality, you have sort of a water carrier for the space in Leonidas. I don't want to say talking shit about people's bags because I'm not saying that was, although he did even say like there is some PvP that goes on. I'm paraphrasing, like when they accused him, like you even launched rune stones when OMB was minting, and he's like, well, yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of a component of that to what I did, but in the end, I think people were upset because they didn't want their Node Monk bags or their shroom bags shit on.
Okay, well, let me just say this. I brought it back up because I thought maybe there could be some more clarity on the situation. I don't necessarily know if talking about it now is bringing any more clarity to it. So I guess, I don't want to like beat a dead horse here. But yeah. I just, obviously.
I don't imagine we'll get it. I don't, unless people who are involved in that conversation want to get deeper than they got yesterday, which again, to Henry's point earlier, was 3 hours of nothing.
Well, is it kind of died down now today?
Yeah, because I think they all felt like by the end, even if they didn't make peace, I think it was still mostly for show. Like, I really think, okay, everything we're doing here is real, but we're very okay with like poking and prodding just for fun, to make it a little more fun, right? Like, we're okay with that. I think they're the same. I think they're all being honest enough, and they're like, whatever they're talking about, they wanted to talk about, but I think they're okay provoking, and they don't actually, I don't think there's any hard feelings there at all, with that show. So,
all right. I mean, if
3 hours of just drama, and yeah, by the end, everything's cool and moving on. And I think
like I said yesterday, I don't deal well with gaslighting. I don't deal well with not trustworthy or upfront people lying. So like, I like to get to the bottom of all that shit, but I'm the last guy that needs to be injecting myself into it because I have the least amount of stakes. But it seemed annoying to me. Is all I'll say.
I don't like the word gaslighting. It confuses me. I always feel like
it means that what's what it means though, right?
I do, but it's like it's hard for me, like when somebody accuses of gaslighting, for me to be like, well, here's why it's not gaslighting. Because sometimes you're just presenting another side of the argument, and you may be rooted in facts. So to me, sometimes I feel like you're accused of gaslighting if you do anything other than agree with whatever they're saying, versus proposing an alternative way of looking at it. And then it's like, well, now you're gaslighting me. And I'm like,
sure.
Well, what's the difference between gaslighting and presenting another way of looking at it?
Let me answer that just in this circumstance, because I feel, and I could be wrong, but I'm talking as if I know, and I will say that I'm not 100% confident, but I feel as if I have that I know enough about the situation where I know someone's lying, and someone is lying to the point where they're trying to make the other person feel as if they don't know the truth and they're crazy for thinking that truth. And so if that's the case, that's kind of the definition of gaslighting, which is, oh, no, that's not happening. And you're crazy for thinking that's happening. And you know what? You shouldn't even be like, you should be watching you should be on your P's and Q's about that situation. So like, that's what I'm talking about. And
Is the word overused sometimes? Because like in that scenario, I feel like it would be like, yeah, if it's like something's blatantly false, so then somebody's trying to make them seem like they're crazy for thinking that to me would be gaslighting.
And that's why I used it. I usually hardly ever use it, but yeah. But whatever. Let's move on.
Nice. All right. Well, let's get to the NFT market a little bit. I don't think we have any major developments over there, but still some some cool sales that still are like those indicators, like really, really good indicators that stuff's starting to ramp up, stuff's starting to cook. There were some
punks are selling pretty good too.
Punks over the past few days definitely selling well. But actually it's stuff that kind of was catching me by surprise. Are these the Spells of Genesis, or I can't remember what these are? I think that's it. Spells of Genesis. I think that's what this is. But man, these like 14 ETH sales. I think I saw one yesterday sell for probably right around the same. Again, these are things. Yeah, there we go. Spells of Genesis. These are things you don't see moving normally. And the fact that they are means people are trying to pick up those kind of, actual historic kind of assets, thinking that they're not going to be at these prices for long.
I've never heard of these.
You never heard of these?
No.
These are also Emblem Vault things, I think. Like these are, maybe these are ETH, but yeah, these are old 2015, 2016 assets. It's like kind of like the Crypto Skulls and like Rare Pepes. These are in like that class. I think these are earlier than Rare Pepes though. So these are pretty cool. These are pretty cool, and they're pricey. What'd these go for? Yeah, so God, there's a lot of volume here actually. But yeah, 14 ETH sale. Here's another hang on, was that a different one? Yeah, a couple 14 ETH sales. And I think there's been a couple here over the past few days. So it's just great to see, the pricier stuff moving. Great sign. A big Fidenza sale here, I think just this morning. 62 ETH Fidenza sale, biggest sale since March. So another big sign. And then X-Copy stuff still ripping. Here's an 18 ETH sale. That's from this morning. The bot there just kind of all day long sales. So stuff's looking great. Wow, a 280 ETH offer on Bad Flavor. Nice. I mean, come on, like stuff's
I've lost touch of X copies. Like, I don't even know. Is that like an old one or a new one?
It's old. It's got to be. And I actually mentioned this morning, like I know his catalog decently, and his collection all the time I see stuff I didn't know existed. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because he's got so much old stuff. That one's listed at 899 ETH. So will they accept? Who knows? But dude, again, we went for a long time with no bids on this kind of stuff. We didn't see these move, and now all of a sudden it's almost like daily. It's certainly a sign that things are ramping up. I feel more and more confident that something pretty cool is coming. By the way, if you do hear that ding, and I'm sure it's from my phone. So
yeah, remember that's the Discord ding.
Yeah, it's just notifications on my phone, and
I told you. I knew it.
You knew it.
Someone was gaslighting me when I said, "Who's got the Discord thing?" Oh, not me.
I didn't hear it, Joe. I didn't mean to gaslight you, but I apologize for that.
You're fine, dude. You're fine.
But yeah, dude, stuff's looking awesome. Actually, I kind of want to peek at collection rankings. I did notice something today. I did my newsletter a few hours ago.
Congrats.
Thank you. I had mentioned I just hate that I can't put the time into it that I used to, which is a bummer. Like I why do it if you're not giving it like just used to put days and days into it, and it was I thought really good. Another big sale today, CryptoPunk, by the way, this morning, a Beanie Punk. I can't remember the ETH total, but about $280,000.
What is that, like 100 ETH?
It's got to be right around there. Yeah.
One something, right?
Yep.
Damn.
Yeah, great to see. Just great to see. Okay, but what I noticed is when I do my when I kind of get into the market and weekly numbers specifically, I didn't notice when I looked at this earlier. But 75 mil cross-chain sales, definitely the lowest of the year. Lowest since October. Now that I knew, what I didn't notice until doing a double take today is transactions. Incredibly low, right? It felt really slow the past week. It felt it. So what I'm about to say probably isn't surprising, but like as far as how low that is, the last time we were lower was, let me think, May. It was either March or May 2021. It's like it's an over 3-year low for transactions. That's how slow the past week was. And it's all those
and cross-chain.
And cross-chain. We didn't have this back then. Exactly. So it just shows the user base is the same. It's just spread out. But if we didn't have all those big ass punk sales, this would look horrendous. Like this would look scary. It would actually catch people's attention. If we didn't have all those big ass punk sales, it would look extremely different. So That's what those big sales can do. You can see that pumped up the average sale numbers, the average sale price. Yeah. I wonder what it would have looked like if we didn't see that run on punks and all the X copy sales. It would have looked awful. Sales in particular, like transactions wouldn't have changed a ton, but how low would sales have been? Yeah. So
quite low. What were sales at?
75, about 75 mil. Which
and that's in the week?
That's for a week period. Yep. And remember in the bull market, man, we would see that in daily.
Yeah.
We would see that daily. Yeah. And those kind of lows aren't crazy. Like last year, this time last year, we had a couple of weeks where we were at like 50 or 60 mil. Actually, did we even get lower? I feel like we got, maybe we didn't get much lower than that. Maybe 55 was our lowest. So I just like getting perspective. I like to match up, like, in my head, what the time felt like, comparing it to what sales were like. And then now sales are about the same, but the vibe is so different. Back a year ago, it felt like we were still on a downtrend. And now we're seeing those same kind of sales, but it feels like it's just the start of something much bigger. So feels good out there, to be honest. Those sales don't worry me because it feels good out there. So we'll see. We'll see, guys. Again, I want to get to Poly Market. I want to talk the debate a little bit. I don't think there'll be much crypto talk, but certainly worth mentioning. But we haven't really looked at floor prices in a minute. Worth peeking at that. Node Monk's doing well considering what's been going on. The collection found a whole bunch of support. Raktoshi swept up the Puppets collection yesterday. He bought a whole bunch of those, so propping those guys up. In general, looking good. I mean, most everything on the Bitcoin side. Green today. I think ETH about the same story there. Yeah.
Do you think Trump? Oh, sorry, we're not there.
Oh, you're good. You're good. I'll just peek at Solana and we can move right on from. There's nothing really happening here. So,
do you think he would say the word Biden over 8 times or under 8 times?
Under. How I could picture him saying it once, like her being replaced. Biden being replaced by Kamala. I can't picture 8 times
because that's the over under right now.
Did you make that bet, or are you debating?
I'm not on Poly. I'm on my bookies website, but like inflation, they've got the over under at 10.5. Biden at 8.5.
I just can't picture the scenario. Like it would have to be a real specific line.
Yeah,
Biden. If that counts, then sure. Bidenomics. I think he could say a few times. That makes sense.
What about like
otherwise?
it
says must stay exact term. So if he says Bidenomics,
it's hyphenated, isn't it? I wonder if that counts.
Will anyone say magatard or libtard?
Kamala says felon.
Oh, definitely.
Kamala says. You think she says felon?
Yeah. I think they're going to push that narrative of prosecutor, criminal.
You think she'll say felon though?
Yeah. What do you think, Joe?
I don't care. Although I probably will listen tonight. I'll try.
You want to hop on this? Do you guys want to stream tonight?
I don't think I'm going to watch it.
No shit.
I don't feel like arguing with my wife about it, and I just know like there's no chance it unites us. 0. So to me, like I thought of it, and I'm like, as interested as I am in it, I can get the updates on Twitter. But if I have it on the television, I don't even want to say we're rooting for different sides. Like I'm sure we'll find some common ground on a couple things, but we will mostly not find common ground on anything. So all I have to gain on it is not getting laid. That's it. That's it.
It's not worth it.
I don't think so.
It could be so entertaining though.
Yeah, but the thing is, what's not entertaining is when you're not agreeing on something and then you find yourself getting a little bit like mad about it, and then I'm like, man, I'm getting mad over these 2 people that I kind of hate anyway. So why? But if I'm betting on it, then like
here's a poly bet. Hudah, here's a poly bet. Does Henry and his wife actually watch the debate tonight? That's what I would bet that they do, because as much as Henry likes to say, oh, I'm like a one, like Henry's a anomaly to me. He's like, I'm a one issue guy, like, oh yeah, Trump's a dirtbag. I don't like any of the people that, that sort of stuff. Like he loves politics. He listens and watches politics, and he needs to be involved in it. So my bet is that he does watch it tonight with his wife.
But Joe, when we have Haitians eating cats in Ohio,
is that real?
No,
it's not real.
I don't think it's real.
There's body cam footage.
There's body cam footage.
Yeah.
I thought it wasn't real, but
so I thought that about the freaking apartment takeovers by the Venezuelan gangs. But
I'll probably step out of this conversation just because it seems dangerous. I don't know what you guys are talking about other than the taking over, but like I'll back out of this one. Just
all right, yeah, feel free.
in the audience.
Joe, context. People were saying that it was. I think JD Vance even tweeted about it that pets were being stolen and eaten by Haitian immigrants, Haitian migrants.
Yeah.
So yeah, context. I didn't see video of it, but well, we all know if there's video, it's real.
You didn't see Haitians with like a Haitian tag that says like Haitian on the front of it in like a striped suit for like burglary, so people knew that they were burglarizing, sneaking into people's houses and being like, "Oh, here's someone's pet," and then going somewhere like to a fire and then like slaughtering. You didn't see that sort of. You did see it. There you go.
Do you know what's surprising to me is Ohio is pretty rural. You go outside like the major city, it's rural, right? Probably similar to Illinois. Go to a farm and get a fucking chicken.
What are you talking about?
You don't need cats.
You're assuming that it's real.
No, I'm saying if it was real, just go get a chicken. But yeah, no, I assumed it wasn't real. And now looking at this footage, it clearly is.
Well, okay. What I think it is it's real footage, but I think it was a totally separate date and time. That's what I think, because I see the footage and I swear I've seen this before. Right? I swear I've seen this before, whether that's 6 months ago, 2 years ago. Like, I don't think it's new. And I think it's just people recycling footage. That might be what's happening with the whole things taking over apartments. But like, no, there's no community notes on those things saying it's fake. And I've only heard more and more that it's actually real.
Here's what sucks. I was at the gym and in the sauna playing video games on my phone and like listening to a murder podcast like I do. And I had like one of my earbuds out and like these two guys were talking, like they were 20 years old. And I know that because they said that they were 20 and they're like talking about Venezuelans and like how all Venezuelans are like taking over Chicago. But like, if you know, like they were talking about all the political bullshit. When I was 20 years old, you couldn't catch me knowing any topical thing that any adult knew about at all. I'm just so fucking sad that like people are into this type of shit so much that 20-year-olds at a gym in a sauna would be talking about it. It seems insane to me that is happening, and it makes me fucking sad. And
you don't think that's better?
What's that?
You don't think that's good that people?
No, because they're not talking. Because here's the thing, Hudah. They had every piece of information wrong in the worst possible way ever. So I walked away from there thinking they hate Venezuelans, that it's cool that Chicago, like you can't fuck with Chicago. So meaning that like Venezuelans are now going to have a harder life living in Chicago because people are on the lookout to fuck them up because of this. It just is not fun. Yeah. It's not productive. It's not even probably real. And if there are serious issues about all this stuff, it's not helping it. It's not helping it at all. So I'd rather kids not be involved in it. And I'd rather people that can handle these situations deal with it. That would be my opinion on it.
Yeah.
These aren't kids. They're adults.
Well, 20 years old. What were you doing at 20 years old?
Oh, I was in the Coast Guard.
Well, okay, then fair enough. Well,
but I feel you. Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
Like, I know what you mean. They're yeah, I'm with you. They should be enjoying their childhood.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, I did take a Kamala Says felon bet. I put 150 on a minus 220 money line.
What does that
mean?
I'm
a little it means like you need to bet $220 to win 100. So what I'm really okay, can I just run through these real quick cuz I wanted to wait for the show to put any bets down. Okay, handshake. Handshake, no handshake. No handshake is minus 450, right? I'm thinking I step away from that cuz I don't like those odds. Inflation over under 10 and a half, actually. How many times inflation is said by either candidate? Ooh, you know what's not clear about this? Is it combined?
Gotcha. Yep.
How would you read that? Total number of times inflation is said by either candidate. That sounds combined to me.
Yeah.
10 times.
Yeah.
I could see that being
2 hours, right? 90 minutes, 2 hour, over 90 minutes.
Seems like a lot still.
It does. Yeah.
Okay. We talked Biden.
Joe's loving this.
Trump says borders are.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, that's a minus 400. Trump says fake news.
Definitely. I don't think he says it as much lately, but I
Kamala says liar.
that's a good one. I don't know.
The odds are that she won't.
Okay. Yeah, I don't hear her say that much. I can't hear it.
Okay. All right. Well, Joe's abstaining from it. That's fine.
Fair.
He's allowed to.
On Polymarket. Well, okay, go through yours. We'll hit Polymarket.
That was it. Yeah, that's all. That's
it's
all
just,
I get.
It's dreadfully boring, as in my opinion.
Joe, I'm trying to make some money, bro.
Yeah, well, how about you wait until after the show before you make some of that money, or before the show?
Like some of these seem like easy, right? Palestinian. Some of these seem.
That's.
And there was an interesting one this morning. In fact, this probably expands because crypto was on here, right? It was on here for Kamala. Oh, there it is. It's on there for Kamala. It's on there for Trump as well. Trump was 20% to say it. It's about the same. It's about 20% for Trump to say it. It's only about 10% for Kamala to say it. And the way I pictured is if one says it, I feel like the other's going to say it.
I don't feel like they'll say it.
I don't think they'll say it either. And the only reason anyone would say it is if Kamala makes fun of Trump's NFT collection. Like that would be the only reason. I think it would be like,
awesome.
Yeah, I'd be like, this guy's and these guys has 4 NFT collection drops, shoes. Like he just, pointing out how ridiculous it is. That's my only thing that he would
I would love if she's hammering him on the criminal stuff, like on that, and it gets to the overvaluing of properties and the moving of money and all that, and then he talks about how that leads into the crypto conversation. You know what I mean? Because that's like kind of the angle of his DeFi thing. But I don't picture on this stage. I think there's so many people still that don't care, and I think they know that. It probably like publicly only hurts them to mention that stuff. So I almost feel like they're told to like stay away from crypto.
Yeah. Do you see a scenario where he comes out with an advantage
from this debate?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
If he looks competent, because I think I'm going in this expecting him to get destroyed.
Me too.
And so if he comes out competent, holding his own, even, I think it makes him look good. And if he gets to her, if she gets flustered, this is probably a big old deal.
Pressure's on Kamala Harris. I mean, there's like, we know what Trump is, and the weird thing about Trump is that no one's been able to like make him look as silly as he really is, in my opinion. And it's really not that hard. It's usually because politicians try to like take the high road, but that's not what politics is anymore. And so like there's this delicate balance of like, it'd be easy to make fun of him in a way, but people don't want to go down that path, but they need to in this circumstance. It's a matter of how cool and interesting she can do it. And we'll see.
Yeah,
I think she should try to shake his hand.
Sure. Oh, I think that would be a good look.
Yeah, me too.
Joe,
isn't that funny? Something as meaningless as that.
Yeah, but we've noticed over the past, couple elections now, they go out of their way to not shake hands. That changed. It never used to be like that. I'm trying to remember when was the last time they did
12.
Really?
16, Clinton and Trump did not shake hands. 20 was COVID, so they didn't. And now we got 24 and Trump didn't shake Biden's hand. So
Obama didn't shake.
Well, Obama would have been 12, right?
Yeah.
So that was
the last time it was done.
So it's been 12 years since they've shaken hands at a debate. That's wild to think, isn't it?
Yeah, it's weird.
It sums everything up. It does. To me, that's crazy. To me, that's absolutely bonkers. But yeah, as far as who will win the debate, who they have winning this?
Kamala, right?
Yeah, there's like a 70 or 64% chance, or 77% chance. Yeah,
that's where it gets dangerous. If he comes out with a good showing, it really can flip that momentum. And I think polls like Nate Silver's poll, they've got Trump, especially in the past few days, Trump up big. Like
Yeah,
Trump
so-
Yeah.
up.
60
But
something.
his poll has been fudded to all hell, right? Because he's on the Polymarket staff, or he's paid by Peter Thiel.
Yeah, he's an advisor. There's other polls too. I saw. I've been really surprised because going by feels, it feels like he's getting just demolished. But I don't think that's how it's playing out. In like electoral vote wise.
Yeah. Yeah, I think sometimes I'll give a great analogy that nobody probably watched the Bills game other than me, but it looked like the Bills were getting run on like crazy. Like if you would have told me that the Cardinals had 200 rushing yards, I would have been like, yeah, they did. The fucking Bills defense was pitiful. I think they ended up with under 100.
No
so
shit.
it's like, yeah, point being is sometimes you're watching something and it looks way different than what the reality is.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And I think it's fair to say, like, the more cats that get eaten, the better it is for Trump.
Oh, dude, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Hang on real quick. I feel like somebody maybe requested to come up and I just missed it. No, maybe not. Maybe not. Reminder though, guys, if anybody does want to come up, hop in the spaces, request. Alien 5+ times.
No.
Could he talk? I know that. Are they talking? Is that about
illegal aliens?
Yeah. But does that work both ways? If he talks like,
I think if he says the word alien, it counts.
Yeah.
I don't think he's talking orbs or MH370.
That stuff's getting so much closer to him now.
I talked to a guy the other day at my store that was, I know this guy. He works for the city. Like he's a normal dude. I say normal, like he's a regular guy. He had just stopped at the reservation to get some mushrooms. Candies. Yeah, we were talking about it, and he's like, "Dude, send me over some of those videos." He's like, "I believe it."
That's what's
up. I was like, "Holy shit, man!"
There is some super interesting. It's getting talked about more and more. Like it's actually that conspiracy theories breaking into the mainstream. That Lou Elizondo dude or whatever. Like there's a lot of interviews now. Glenn Beck put that video in front of him, asked him what he thought of it. It was funny the way he was like dismissing it. He described very similar tech that he was saying, is a thing he'd heard about. And what he described sounded almost exactly like the orb video. It's interesting. There's shit going on with it. And I saw actually a guy on SEAL Team 6 tweeted this morning about it actually. And he tweeted about it saying, we did that as a message to China. For whatever reason, it's just to show China, like, don't
China,
China. But as a show of like, we can do this. This is our tech. Don't fuck with us. So that was his take. It was great. It was great. I'm really digging it. McDonald's. Why would he say McDonald's? What is that about? Oh, one of them. Kamala worked at McDonald's, I think, right?
Yeah, yes. This is how stupid people are, because when she brought up that she worked at McDonald's in the summer, people immediately went like sleuthing and they're like, yeah, well, the corporate doesn't have records of it. And I'm like, okay, first off, this was like 30, 40 fucking years ago. And they're owned by franchises. I highly doubt that McDonald's keeps the employment record of every single person that worked there for the last 60, 70 years. So
you were
like, I did. Yeah. I was a class of 1997, I think. I was 15 when I worked there.
Nice.
Yeah. So like, I'm not going to FUD somebody who's part of like my alumni. Even though I don't like her, like we both worked at McDonald's.
You're taking this more seriously than your military background, by the way.
No. I just think it's like, I try to be, I say, fair about both sides. That's a weird stance to take. No different, Joe, than I thought it was a horrific stance when Tim Walz's family supported Trump and everybody on the Trump fan side was like, oh my gosh, look at his family fucking hates him. And literally just like 3 weeks ago, they were shitting on the Kennedys for doing the same thing. And I'm just like, just be consistent. I don't fucking care if she worked at McDonald's. I don't know why we would assume she didn't. I don't know why we would say, like, I would say like half the people in America have probably worked at McDonald's or Burger King as like a first job. So yeah, Bob, it might be on our social security records. I don't know if she provided those or not. Also, she was in Canada, I think, when she worked there. So, she was she lived in Canada, I think, up until, I think, through college. So I think it would have been a McDonald's in Canada. I didn't know that about her. I didn't realize like she grew up in Canada. Like she's a U.S. citizen, but she grew up there. I don't know if she went to college in Montreal, maybe.
I like Canada.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay. Dude, I'm just loving I'm loving prediction markets. Love them. They're fun. It's, everybody's, running with this narrative now. Product market fit. There's very few things here in NFTs in Web3 that has real product market fit. Poly market certainly does. Prediction markets certainly do. And they're starting to pop up kind of fast and furious. And there's a new one, a really, really new one popping up as of just yesterday that I'm already a fan of. I love it. Myriad. You familiar with this, guys?
I've heard of it.
Yeah. I dig it. It's coming from Decrypt. Rug Radio Decrypt. It's their own. I think brilliant. Super brilliant. They've already got the news platform. Why don't you bake in a little prediction market into it so you don't got to send all your action over to Poly Market. You keep it right in-house. Brilliant.
When you say keep it in-house, is this like mainnet or is this...
Whatever chain it's on, I almost would want to bet it's on Arbitrum because that's what I feel like Rug Radio started using. If any of you guys know what blockchain this is actually on, I feel like it would be Arbitrum. But either way, just the fact keeping it in-house is in it's okay. So like what is it? Polymarket. CNN is using it, like they're citing it, right? All these other news organizations citing it. Well, now Decrypt doesn't have to cite Polymarket; they cite their own prediction market. You know what I mean? It's them giving themselves that promotion, and then hopefully CNN and all those places start using them as well, right? Start referencing them. It's just smart.
Yeah.
You're getting a lot of notifications there, Hudah.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'll have to figure that out tomorrow. I don't know. Like I got.
Are we going to talk to centralized since Henry is here today, or are we not talking that?
Well, we can.
Henry, are you comfortable or no?
Am I comfortable? Does it matter if I'm comfortable?
Yeah, of course. I don't want you to feel fucking shitty. I don't want you to be bummed.
I don't believe you.
Of course, I'm 100% serious. I mean, I'd like to talk about it. I just didn't know. Like, I don't want to talk about it at the expense of him actually not wanting to talk about it. Like, I don't want to do that.
You know what, dude? It's not that I don't want to talk. It's like, do I want to talk about it? No.
Yeah.
Is it my job to talk about it? Yes. So whatever that means, it's not like I'm running from talking about it. I just, part of me is like, listen, I've lived the last, 4 days of, being shit on. So it's not exactly, it ain't fun. I mean, I've talked to Hudah about it. It's not fun.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't know how to set it up. You know what I mean? I guess like has it gotten any better today?
Yeah, I think, you know what? So, people, maybe I'll give you like an update. Maybe that's a good place to start. It's like, we made the announcement on Friday. Obviously, through the weekend, people were, some were vicious, some were supportive. I had lots of people in my DMs that were like, man, I love this move. This is the right move. I think Leonidas even said something on his Twitter.
I saw that too. When I was looking, I would see like 3-1 positive, negative.
What's funny is I've had a lot of founders that have reached out supportive, like behind the scenes and people that I know versus like, somebody who's got 273 followers on Twitter, which I'm not saying that makes them any less of a person. It's just like, I don't know who you are.
Those are the best guys.
Maybe that was even a dumb example. It's just people that I don't know that are like, fuck you guys, whatever.
It's the guys that have like 2 followers that you need to be ripping on.
So I think there was, I don't even want to say confusion. I think it came out and immediately there were people that wanted to, I don't even want to say hijack the brand, but people that wanted to take over. So the initial flood of messages and correspondence was people who wanted to control the Twitter account. Hey, what are you going to do with the social media account? I want to take it over. Me and my team will take it over.
Decentralized, not like Kongs, right?
Decentralized, yeah.
I saw people asking for all of it even too. It was like stupid talk, but
No, everything. Like, yeah, absolutely. Everything. But like social media account being probably top of the list for most people. because what we still have is the mascot from the from the Untitled collection. We bought that off the secondary market, so we have that. We have the banana, the 3D banana, and the 4 Megger, which we inscribed the Prometheans off of. So we still control those. But it was like you're kind of missing the point a little bit. The idea was not, hey, we don't want to build this, so we just gave up and we want to hand it over to somebody else to build it. That wasn't the purpose. The purpose was it's going decentralized. So like you can do whatever you want with it. So that being said, we will make a formal statement, at least letting people know, like, the decentralized intellectual property, which there's not much to it, right? You've got like the name decentralized, which is obviously not trademarked. And then you've got like
the lightning bolt decentralized trademark.
None of it's trademarked because like it's a lightning bolt and it's the word decentralized. So any of that is going to go CC0, where people are free. And honestly, we should have included that within the announcement, because there's confusion. Like people don't want to do something and then find out we're going to take action against them. We're not going to. Anybody can do whatever the fuck they want with decentralized. The idea was put it out there for people to do what they want with it. Take it out of the control of a team and say, hey, community, do what you want with it. If you want to start a Discord, if you want to, provide whitelists, if you want to do whatever, do whatever you want. And I've said personally, like, I will support this however I can. Obviously it's easier for me to get behind people that I know and people that I trust versus like some random person who's like, hey, I'm starting this Discord, I want you to support me. Like, I will absolutely support people that I know, because I just want to be cautious about what I kind of like put my name behind, if that makes sense. I don't mean that like my name, but you know what I mean? Like we're the ones that created decentralized. So if you're behind it, pushing it through somebody else or through another Discord, I just want to be kind of cautious about that. So we will put out an announcement just saying it's going to be CC0. When it comes to Untitled, that art is owned by individuals, and so that would still fall under your non-exclusive IP rights. Like that won't be CC0, because that to me is unfair to take something that somebody else owns and say like anybody can use it. It's non-exclusive IP rights, which means like it's yours. Do what you want with it. But on the decentralized side, it'll go CC0, CCO, and people can build off of it.
Did you guys think about this before this happened? Did you know this was going to be, or is this kind of stuff that you were like, oh fuck, now these are actual things that people are going to be considering now?
Okay, so did we think about it beforehand? I guess because we didn't think about decentralized as far as us owning the name, or because we hadn't trademarked it. We're just like, it's free for people to do what they want with it, but didn't realize that people wanted like an official statement saying so.
Right.
I don't want to say scolded by our attorney a little bit. He was just like, yeah, you should have put that out in the statement, and you should have shared that statement with me beforehand. It wasn't being a dick about it. He's just like, then you can just have it all in the same statement, and then there's no confusion about that. So, there's a lot of people that are, it's funny, the chat's busier. I think the initial shock of it has kind of worn off a bit. And I think people want to just get to grinding out what they can with decentralized.
Couple quick questions. Apologies. Did you not show up to the show yesterday because of the FUD of decentralized?
No. I mean, I would have shown up if I wanted to show up. I felt physically ill from started like Saturday. I told you before the show, like I woke up this morning, messaged into my shop saying I wasn't going to be in, super nauseous. But by the way,
I didn't believe you. I know you said that, but I was like, he's fucking lying.
No, dude, listen, mental health plays a role on physical health, so like I told you like where I think it's coming from, but I'm not stupid enough to think that, again, like I don't give a shit what anybody out there, like I say I don't give a shit what anybody says.
It was bad, right? I mean, Hudah was trying to say that it was like almost kind of the biggest sort of thing going on sort of yesterday, because over the weekend there wasn't a lot of engagement, and so Monday was kind of like when everyone was ready to fucking rock a little bit. So he was saying that it was pretty bad.
I mean, to me, yesterday was no worse than Friday or Saturday. From my perspective, it was the same. It's just like, dude, I'm a person, man. Like, in the end, the goal of what we do is to try to make people happy. Like, I know we work behind the scenes, we try to do cool shit, and we do all that to try to like to try to have some fun while we're doing it, and in the end to like benefit people who take part in it. And I think it sucks. Nobody wants to be called nobody wants to be compared to like, oh, you're a rugger.
Oh yeah. What's your response to that? Like, that you're a rugger, right? Like, have you thought of that, and do you agree with it, or do you not agree with it? I mean, what's your response to that?
Do I think that we're ruggers? No, I don't think that like we have it in us to rug people. I think, and dude, only time will tell on whether we made a good decision. Okay. Like, only time is going to tell whether this actually was the best decision for decentralized. It didn't feel like us maintaining control of decentralized was good for decentralized, because like, as long as we held decentralized, and keep this in mind, like, as long as we held it and as long as we tried to do shit with it, people were continuing to buy decentralized. Volume was crazy low, but it's like, if one more person is buying it thinking we're about to come out with the thing that's about to change Bitcoin, it was like one person too many. And we, again, like, you make business decisions and some of them are fucking tough, man. And you're looking at it and you're like, do we keep working on this thing? We talked about this Friday. Do we keep working on this thing, or do we let other people decide that they want to work on this thing? Or do we just let it, like, it's a provenance cultural token, and if you care about it, great. And if not, well, whatever. I don't see how, when I say making it decentralized, giving it to the people, making it CCO, makes it worse than CyberKong's owning it and saying like, we're coming out with the next phase 2 PFP, and everyone's like, well, cool, how many? We're like, yeah, 2,500. Oh, 2,500. You dropped 21,000 Prometheans, and all we got was the rune out of it, and I bought it on the secondary. And we're like, yeah, but it was just a collectible. And they don't care. They're like, yeah, but what's next for it? And your messaging made it seem like this is what's next. So it's like, without doing a 20,800 PFP collection, 21,000 Prometheans, we did 200 Untitled. I feel like mostly anything short of that, probably anything short of 10K or 5K, people can insert whatever number they want.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter to talk about some hypothetical situation. Was the FUD worse than you thought it would be, or was it not as, like, did you think that the FUD was going to be worse, or was it right around what you thought it was going to be?
Dude, I guess again, my time in Kongs, we've been through crazy ups and downs, right? Gen Kongs at 200 ETH, and like babies at 17 ETH, and VX is at 4. And like, you ride that wave with everyone, people who bought at the top and sold at the bottom, and they're like, fuck you guys. I have never experienced the type of FUD that I've experienced in Kongs until we started fucking with decentralized. Literally never, dude. And I mean, we've been never. I mean, I'm talking from the moment the FUD didn't start when we decided we would try to do something with the rune. It really started before that. You're not doing something with the rune. You're not, what are you doing with it? What do you like? It's like, it starts then, and it coincides directly with the price. Like, it just does. And the thing is, like, you look at Dog that had a 937 million market cap and then went down to 240 million. I don't remember seeing people nearly as upset that Dog crashed, but I think it's because Leonidas's messaging was just pumping a meme coin, whereas we went the route of thinking we were making people happy by building something with it, trying to do something with it. And that's where I think that's where we went wrong. And
I would say that like, I am more bullish, no offense, I'm more bullish now hearing people talk about it being like, let's do this with it, let's do that with it, and the potential that it could have now that it is more decentralized. I mean, like, what the fuck do I know? But I am kind of bullish on that. So
you know what, dude? I've told everybody that is either looking to start a Discord or anybody who wants to push this, like, I'm not going away. I'll continue to push decentralized.
You shouldn't, honestly. I think you should just be like, I'm out. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I don't want, like, keep in mind, like, I helped create this, right? So I want to see it be successful, and I want to support it however people want me to support it. If people are like, no, we don't want you fucking near this, like you're kryptonite, then I'll just support it from the sideline. People are like, no, I want you in my Discord, I'll join their Discord. Like, the reality is, of course I want to support it. But honestly, I think the further we get from the decision and the closer we get to, people, by the way, like, I've talked with people, and the thing is, whatever grand ideas people have for what they think they can do with a rune, they're going. I remember I was in a conversation yesterday with a group of people, and they're great people. Like, I know them all personally, and I would support them. And we were talking things out, and one of them said, like, yeah, and the thing is, like, once we do this, like, if they set up a Discord, they're like, there's a lot that needs to be done. And I said, yeah, just going to stop you there. There really isn't. And I think that's the part that you're going to find sooner, hopefully, rather than later. There's not a lot that needs to be done. Like, you can set up a Discord, you could set up socials. We can figure out if we'll do anything with the socials, but in the end,
multiple people can kind of, like, right now, anyone can do anything with it. So someone could try to take the torch up, but also 10 people could try to take the torch up. Is that
100 people could?
Right.
I think what people will find is there's not a lot you can do other than bull post. Like, there's not a lot you can do. Like, Hudah was in the Discord, I think, on Saturday, asking a guy who was fudding his fucking brains out. Literally, this guy was probably hyperventilating behind his computer with his left hand cuffed around his dick, just waiting to fucking tell us how shitty we were. And Hudah was just like, yeah, just tell me, like, what were your like, what could you do with it? Like, I understand you're frustrated with the team, but, like, what is it you would like to see? I think you asked him 3 or 4 times and he never answered. And then other people were asking him, can you just answer Hudah's question? And
it was nothing.
He couldn't. He just couldn't.
Can't you use it as payment for something if you created
Sure.
something?
Yeah, sure. But the thing is, like, go with that. Go down that road. Anyone can use it as payment. No different than Banana. They don't need our permission. What are we going to build that you're going to use it as payment for? That doesn't encroach on an ecosystem we already have that has its own utility token.
Well, I don't know. I mean, honestly, like, I think you made a good point in that, like, you did create it, so there's a certain level of ownership. But I think with it being decentralized now, and, like, even talking about, like, what can you do with it? It's like, it seems a little bit aggro to me. Like, I just feel like it should be
it's not aggro. It's the truth. It's not aggro. It is just the cold, hard facts of what runes are.
You're saying, like, what could we do with it? And we had this conversation on Friday, me saying, like, well, you could do something with it, but also you might be able to do something with it in the future, and you've got to figure that out. You know what I mean?
But
like,
if you could do something, we know this much, Joe. Runes, BRC 20s, ERC 20s, they are not unique in the concept of them. They're just not. Okay. And if anything, Bitcoin makes it clunkier. So let's even say that Bitcoin gets to the point where you've got layer 2s that work, that people use, and they start using smart contracts, and they do all of these things where it's like, okay, now you have something that's like, let's say, the equivalent of an ERC 20. It's been built out, right? That infrastructure is now there for smooth operation. What can you do with it? You could do what any ecosystem has already done, let's say, with an ERC 20. And the thing is, we have an ERC 20. So we're like, whatever can be done with it in the future, I don't disagree with you that somebody sometime down the road can make something where you're like, fuck yeah, you can use the rune for that. Guess what? Whatever that is, you can still use the rune for that. We didn't change the ability to use the rune.
Right.
So to me, the idea that, like, well, you could have held it for, for the chance that something could happen in the future. I think we thought as a team that whatever that chance could be, if there is something in the future that's purposeful for it, the health of decentralized in the meantime, until it gets to that point, is far better being decentralized than it is sitting with us. What's next? When? What's
that
next?
was
When?
that was maybe the main part of the messaging. I think I don't want to say could have been better. I think you checked every box you needed to check, but I think people did not get any kind of sense that the Kongs could return one day and there's assets for them to go play with if they want. You know what I mean? And I know that's not on your plan. You're not planning to do that, but if there were an opportunity to come back into Bitcoin and do something, it would be with that stuff, I imagine.
3 years ago, we would never have even thought we'd be on Bitcoin. We said that, when we launched the decentralized. So like any possibility can still exist. Can still exist. And so like, I feel like it doesn't really take out any of the possibilities of what could happen. Just like you said, if somebody builds something amazing, awesome. If Kongs decide we're going to build something amazing, awesome. It doesn't change what can happen with the rune in the future. It just lets it be under the control of everyone versus just under the control of CyberKongs. That's how I see it.
No, I get you. I guess sometimes when we're talking about it, the example of like Hudah saying like, what would you do with it? What can we do with it? Like the messaging of like that almost feels like it's an argument rather than like you're trying to explain to them in a sound way what you're saying right now, which is like the message is we can do in the future, we can do stuff with it if it was deemed we should do it. But we think it's a better, we think it's better for the coin if it's decentralized. And so hence we're doing that. So we're, like
we said that.
Well, I'm saying,
did say that.
But you're not, my point is that the messaging in just what we were saying now seemed argumentative rather than, gingerly explaining it, I guess.
Yeah, it's not meant to be argumentative. It's just meant to be completely truthful. Mm-hmm. Really, it's not meant to be like, fuck you, we can't do anything with it anyway. It's just more like people are upset that we aren't doing something with it. That's at the core of the art. Okay, core of the argument is we're upset you're not doing something with it because the idea is if we do something with it, price goes up, right? I mean, nobody's excited about doing something with tech, by the way. They're just not. We've had 3 years of experimenting in CyberKongs itself. Not one tech release that we've ever done. Guardian contract, play and collect, Kongbot, not one tech advancement that ERC 721X, not one of these has anybody been like, fuck yeah, let's go to Kong. Like people are like, oh, Kongs are cool. They fuck with some shit, but they're not like tech advancement. I'm all in. So I think the reality is whatever tech advancements we could do with it doesn't result in price action. I think what people want to see with decentralized is price action. And I think the best opportunity for it to have price action is for it to be decentralized.
I don't know why I'm getting in this argument. I feel like we're watching the debate tonight. I hear you, and you're probably right in a lot of sense, but like to say no one cares about that is you can't make that statement, and it can't.
Yeah, no one cares about what?
Like you do a thing and no one gives a shit about it. Like we do the tech advancement, no one cares about it.
I can say that. Well, we just did a tech advancement with runes, and okay, to say all of them don't care
about someone's opinion, dude.
Yeah, but to say all of them don't care, Joe, I'm wrong. You're correct.
The fudders are really loud. The fudders outweighed the guys who are really, really just excited to be, part of a thing.
We just did something with runes. We just did where we, and the reality is, the majority of the comments that you read, they're just comments, right? That's our sampling size between Discord and Twitter. Nobody cared about that. Nobody cared about that.
Well, okay. I almost didn't listen to that at all. I'm sorry. But the other thing I was going to say was that like, I think that you're talking about price action. I think that, and maybe I'm wrong because, but I think that there's probably people that saw it as if you guys etched this rune under CyberKongs and that there's a certain level of responsibility or something to that.
Yes.
And so when you guys sort of did that, I think people got butthurt about it. And people probably bought something because you were involved and did all that sort of stuff. And so I'm just saying that is, like when we're just having these discussions, like the only thing people care about is price action and that's it. And that's it lends itself to like cutting off all other options. And so I'm just saying that like there's probably many different things and many different reasons. I think for me, like there was I can sense why some people were upset about certain things.
Me
and
too.
So I just
Me too.
yeah, and I don't like and some of the discussion, I'm sure you're getting it. I'm fresh. You're getting fucking bombarded. So I'm just saying like, oh dude, like I can see how when you're talking in this sense, how some might take it as insensitive or butthurt about some of that stuff.
You know what, Joe? I'm cutting through some of the
Yeah.
bureaucracy and political nonsense that we normally have to do as a project. Like I'm cutting through some of it, and I'm just being I'm more of just an observer. I mean, I help run a project, and so like we've been through a lot of these types of things. So I will say this: when we did this, the original intention of etching decentralized was like, let's just do it because it's fun. Okay.
Yeah.
We should have, in hindsight, we should have stopped right there. We should have stopped right there, and we should have done this from the very beginning. And to people who have that opinion, I don't disagree with them one bit. Like I really don't.
And I'll end it on this. I have no doubt that you guys have the best intention for all of this. And quite frankly, this could be a great thing in the future. So I'm sorry that you guys have gotten a bunch of FUD. It was probably being involved in so many things. You knew it was coming. You knew it was going to fucking happen. I'm sorry if it was like intense beyond control, because it's a bummer. You know, you're dealing with people and you know,
I mean, we're still explaining to people 5 months later that Prometheans were a pre-rune.
Mm-hmm.
Like Prometheans were a pre-rune. They fulfilled their obligation by getting the rune. Now, granted, we did put out a tweet where it had like the orange circle plus the lightning bolt equals. And that was the idea of going to a PFP with it. And that is a moment in time where we diverted from the original intention of not doing something. You know, that was like, we started doing something. And I think the more we tried to do something with it, the more, the worse it got. Like the worse it got. It was like, we're just repeating 21 all over again. We created banana again on Bitcoin. And now we're minting babies with them. And so like at some point you either have to kind of like see that process all the way through to just say you did it, or you're like, no, we're fucking with this. And at some point you got to rip off the Band-Aid and be like, okay, like it's going to hurt. People are going to be upset, but this is what we think is best for it. And in that process, yeah, you're going to piss some people off. And I get it. I get it.
Well, good luck going forward.
But I don't mean, when I say like, what can you do with it? I don't mean it as a fuck you. What do you want us to do with it? I don't mean it like that. I just mean it from like a very direct, like there wasn't some amazing tech solution that could be built by us. Or almost by anybody at this point, but it absolutely could come. Like we'll see. We'll see if the Rune protocol is a fail, or if the Rune protocol is something that's long-standing. I don't know. I don't know if runes 5 years from now are going to be something that we look back at and we're like, yeah, remember the whole rune thing that everybody got super excited about and turned into nothing, or if we're going to be like, man, runes, fuck yeah, we are where we thought we could be.
Yeah, people were pissed, dude. People were pissed. Like I was telling Hudah the other day, like on our videos, people were like, "Fucking, I'm not gonna watch our videos anymore because of this shit." I was like, "Oh Jesus Christ!" But yeah, you know, like, yeah, it was interesting. So
yeah.
All right, let's wrap it. Good chat. That was definitely one of your Discord notifications going off, so that was cool.
Who?
What one of you two? It's got to be. I closed.
It's not me.
Closed. We'll figure.
Yeah, it's got to. You know what? You know, Hudah, you're probably right. It's probably my Discord that's never gone off ever.
Well,
on a day in which yours are going off every 30 seconds, it's probably mine.
It could be mine. I'm not sure.
Maybe. Yeah. Who knows?
Pretty sure it's not, but I'll check. I'm gonna double check later. Whatever. Whatever, dude. That was cool. That was good. It was good to get it out there. I think everybody feels so much better now. It's like a weight off of everything. All right, I'm probably not streaming tonight, by the way. Probably not going to do the debate, but maybe we should. Maybe we should, though.
I say we
all
put
sweaty and shit.
I say we put Henry's camera in front of the table in front of his couch and watch.
That would be amazing.
His wife like streaming.
That would be amazing.
I do want to give a shout out to like Blazin,
Awesome dude.
Awful Eye. Honestly, both of them have been been in DMs, super supportive Kongs. Like there's a lot of really awesome Kongs. Obviously, to anybody we let down with this announcement, that brings me not even a smidgen of joy. But personally speaking, yeah, I'm gonna work alongside to try to make sure that I don't think I'll be Leonidas with bull posting, but maybe I can be a Leo Jr. Who knows?
There you go.
Sounds good.
Anyway,
Dude, pretty cool. Jesus may have been a shapeshifter, maybe. We're still digging into that, so just a heads up there. And
can I show you how far I've come on my paper on this show?
what paper?
I mean,
your what?
this is when I take notes.
Is this today or is this?
Whoa!
I started a new sheet here.
What is that?
I don't know. When we're talking, I just like scribble.
Yeah, that's like what's the Shining thing? Jack.
Oh yeah, it makes Jack a what is it? All
That's
work, no
legit
play
amazing.
makes Jack a something boy.
Yeah.
Yep, insane, dude. Actually insane. I just minted something. Actually, no, I didn't. I did. I'm gonna show you. Let's get out of here. Holy cow, guys! Have a great night. A great freaking night. Yeah, that's it.
Mañana.
Bye. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Well,
See ya.
the non-fungible ENS, don't you know? Banging knives to the rhythm of the code. All the shiny blades, we're just holding to zero. It's all everything. Round tripping positions, that's how we roll. We won't make a dollar, won't sell a thing. We're the zero holders, so after we sing. Zero holders, all after we sing. Zero holders, we're the kings of the sea. And run for your money if we live in the dream. We're all on the zero, it's our way to be. In the world of NFTs, we're wild and free.
Suck a motherfucking dick, bitches.
All right, that was cool.
Yeah.
I bet anybody's even listening on Spaces. That end is probably super confusing. It's probably just confusing.
What's confusing right now?
Yeah,
Yeah, you're like, oh, the show's over.
which it is.
Yeah, well, there was like fucking 6 people listening in that Spaces, by the way.
Yeah, it's got to get tweeted. If you just do it without tweeting it, it doesn't show.
I
I mean,
retweeted.
barely. No. Oh well, no. You tweeted the video. I don't think anybody does the Spaces.
I'm all fucking sweaty.
Yeah, dude, you're getting ill. You've
Yeah,
got
Did anyone else notice that top button was off today?
Dude, I'm all fucking hot and I need a rag, I think. My fucking shirt feels wet. Yeah.
Yeah, you should get home and get some rest.
Think I'm gonna have some chicken broth or something.
There you go.
That bad, huh?
Legit illin.
Oh, dude, you ever have that feeling of like nausea, but like you don't have anything to throw up?
Yeah.
It's that. Like
It's the corn, dude. I bet it's the corn.
it would make sense. It's the same thing I would normally get if I eat corn, except that just lasts usually. If I ate corn, it would last through the night. It doesn't go on for days.
Yeah.
But like I ate popcorn for like 2 weeks, so it just could be working itself out of my system or something.
Yo, what's up with the Poly Pond X thing? Did you experiment last night, Hudah?
It's not total. It's like halfway there. It's not fully live.
Oh, really?
I mean, it's there. I don't know how far it's running yet. It's
I think I'm gonna go because I'm all fucking sweaty.
yeah. Do your thing. I gotta boogie too. We got gymnastics.
Yeah. Oh,
catch you
love you
boys
guys.
later.
See you
Love
tomorrow.
you guys. See ya.
Later, guys.